that's the trap. It's like you get
Very true.
stuck working something that's going to work you more than you possibly could. And then even if you have a little bit of time to like study or learn, you're gassed. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like you don't have any energy to actually do anything about, the information that you're taking in. And I think that's a very common trap.
That's super common, and it's also you feel like there's not enough time to make any impact, but I do think that's also a big trap because if you look at your screen time, I guarantee you have way more than you think that you do, and you're putting it towards the wrong places, right? So if you're on your break, you're watching TikTok, all short form content is garbage. Like I promise you, anything that you're going to consume on TikTok is not worth your time. I've never met someone who's really successful who spends a lot of time on short form content. Never. Because inherently, the values and the things you need to learn can't be taught in a 1 minute crackhead edit. It just can't. And so, and then even if it is gold, it's amidst a sea of shit, right? Because you might
Right.
get this one good video that really is impactful, but 2 minutes later, you forgot you watched it in the first place, defeating the entire purpose. So I think people need to be a lot more selective with where they give their time and attention and only watch long form content, please, people. Like if you're struggling with your life, I know it sounds ironic where you're like, I don't have a lot of time, so I need to watch short form content. That is a trap.
Right.
You are better off chipping away at like 5 minutes of the time at something long term that's actually substantial and long form content than watching garbage on TikTok, man. But it's so addictive. It's so good, man. One thing I will say on that point, I know I'm ranting here, but whenever you watch TikTok, it doesn't feel messed up, right? Because it's for you. But when you listen to someone else watch TikTok, you instantly are like, this cannot be good for my brain. Because it's just like you only really spot that when it's not you fully immersed in it.
Wow.
Like when my girlfriend watches it, I'm like, yo, that shit's straight poison. Like there's no world this is good for me at all. So I think that you made a great point, and I'm really glad that you brought that up. That you, if you're watching this because you clicked this, you're definitely pressed for time, but that time still has value. And the compounding nature, which we should talk about compounding in another episode, like the fact that you can stack upon your education over time is so valuable. So safeguard that time and believe that it can change you. Because like both you and I didn't come from like a ton of means. Like my parents were comfortable, but they didn't understand money. They just had decent jobs, right? All this stuff that I know about, it's purely self-taught. I went to school, but I didn't learn any of this in university. It was purely from content that was available for free. But you got to go to the right places to think that there is value in the free content.
And it kind of makes me want to say, like, if you're young and you're watching this, like, really listen to what Ben is saying right here, because you have an opportunity in a little bit of a window to where you're
Hmm.
not, like, hopefully not stuck in that work trap yet. And when you take that time to really dig deep on topics that you care about, that you think are important, you will put yourself in a much better position to win over time, and also to, start doing stuff as well. I think, we've jumped ahead a little bit, but we're not just here to just talk about how the system is broken today. Like we want to also
Yes.
talk about ways to at least
Solve your
make,
problem.
yeah, like make your life better as we know
Totally.
it's messed up. So
Yeah, yeah. So the whole reason is this. I don't ever want the show to be doomsday, but I think you first have to speak to the reality of the situation, which we've tried to do, to say, like, hey, here's how we got here. Now we're going to try to give you a roadmap out of that situation because it is always possible. It's just never going to be obvious or easy. It might actually sometimes be obvious once you've heard it once, but you have to match that with belief that it can be that simple. So let's try to give people a way out.